We just had the release of Resident Evil 3, the remake of that, and it's gotten a pretty positive reception, although some people are a little bit upset at the game length, and I can definitely understand why. But now we're already moving on to what looks to be the next Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 8, or notably to be named Resident Evil Village, with the Roman numerals of the 8 being highlighted as well in Village. Pretty creative by Capcom there. As WCCF Tech noted, Resident Evil 8 is going to feature Chris Redfield in a prominent role, and the game will be released in the first quarter of 2021. How about that? I don't know if Capcom has a new edict in place where they have to release a Resident Evil game every year, but damn, Resident Evil 2 came out in 2019, Resident Evil 3 in 2020, and now we're going to Resident Evil 8 in 2021. Look, the franchise is hot right now. It's selling really, really well. I can understand from a financial standpoint why Capcom wants to be rolling these out, but I could also understand the sentiment of some people thinking, okay, maybe they're releasing these games a little bit too much. My rationale is if the games are good, the games are good, and while Resident Evil 3 maybe to some people was a little bit disappointing, I still thought the game was pretty damn good. But yeah, definitely not a game to be spending $60 on. Nonetheless, Resident Evil 8 is going to feature Chris Redfield in a prominent role, and again, coming in the first quarter of 2021, Biohazard Declassified recently shared some new rumors on the yet-to-be-announced game, and Resident Evil 8 will feature a subtitle like its predecessor, this one being a village, which will be used to highlight the Roman numeral 8. The new rumors also reveal that Chris Redfield will play a prominent role in the game. He will appear in flashbacks, and he will feature a new design, noting the divisive appearance of one Chris Redfield in the finale and DLC of 7 set a rough precedent for reoccurring characters in the new engine. Thankfully, the remakes have since fixed that worry, but Chris has yet to appear since. According to the leak, Chris will be playing an integral part in 8. He appears in flashbacks surrounding Ethan, Mia, and apparently their baby as well. What this baby has to do with the narrative is as of yet unclear. That being said, Chris doesn't seem to be looking very heroic this time around. It appears that the flashback sequence, Chris can be seen shooting one of them while breaking into their home. Capcom is also experimenting with inventory management again, testing both the RE7 and RE4 inventory style for Resident Evil 8. Noting also, it seems that Capcom is playing with the concept of inventory management again. The email suggests that they are testing both a Resident Evil 7 style UI alongside a Resident Evil 4 style, which is interesting to know considering all the buzz about a Resident Evil 4 remake. Maybe it is likely as well. Now that is something that gets me excited. You can make the argument, hey, Resident Evil 4 is still relatively new. I mean, you can go back to that game and still play it. It's a little bit different than RE2 and RE3, where those games were PlayStation 1 games, and it's really, really hard to go back and play those games. Resident Evil 4, however, if you do go back and play it, maybe you'll think it looks good from a visual standpoint. You could also notice that there are some dated elements to the game, and I definitely would like a ground-up remake for that. And at the end of the day, if there's a reason to go back to Resident Evil 4 and play it again, I'm going to be all over that. Resident Evil 4 was so awesome, and it's a fantastic game in my opinion. It was my favorite Resident Evil title. Maybe Resident Evil 2 outpaced that a little bit after the remake, but if Resident Evil 4 gets the remake treatment of RE2, that could easily change. Also noting, the new rumors also talked about the game's release date. Apparently, Resident Evil 8 is going to be released during the first quarter of 2021, but the release window may be delayed due to everything going on. Resident Evil 8 has been yet to be revealed officially, but an announcement is expected to come before the end of the month. However, obviously, that might be altered a little bit. Before the end of the month, Resident Evil 8 being revealed would be kind of crazy. Maybe they want to, leapfrog and get the buzz going right away, especially after the release of Resident Evil 3. Maybe just get the ball rolling on that, especially because I think when the next generation consoles are revealed and all of those games start getting unveiled, there's going to be a lot of headlines to go around, and a lot of games are going to be revealed, and it's going to be hard to generate a lot of buzz for certain games. However, this is goddamn Resident Evil 8. I don't think they're gonna have issue generating buzz and attention for Resident Evil 8. But if they want to get the head start in promoting the game, hey, by all means. They handled it differently with RE3 though. That's why I find that bit a little bit hard to believe. I mean, Resident Evil 3, most people came to the conclusion that it was in development, but when was that game revealed? Like in December, and then it came out in March. You're talking about something that's a little bit different than what Capcom has been doing. I think Resident Evil 2 even, wasn't it released or revealed in E3 of 2018, and then it came out January of 2019. So even then, that wasn't a long wait either. If you're talking about this game coming out in March of 2021 and it's being announced in April of 2020. To me, that just seems like an early announcement, but whatever the case may be, people are going to be very excited for the game, and that begs the question, what about other Resident Evil games? What about 2022's Resident Evil game? Are they going to keep this yearly cycle of Resident Evil releases? I think at some point the well is going to run dry, but as we've seen in the past, they can do quality Resident Evil spin-offs, they can do titles like Revelations, and people are going to be all over that. Maybe they won't sell as well, but I really think if you keep remaking those games inherently are going to sell well, because Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4, those are heralded as some of the best games of all time. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch to some of you guys, but still, they're considered to be really great games, but that well is gonna run dry. Are you gonna then remake Resident Evil 5? Are you gonna, God forbid, remake Resident Evil 6? I mean, now I think we're pushing it a little bit, but you could remake Resident Evil Code Veronica, you can remake Resident Evil Revelations 1, you could do a lot of stuff that you could keep churning out these Resident Evil games. You can start making new spin-off titles. You could continue and make Resident Evil 9. Whatever the case may be, I think Capcom is very, very committed to Resident Evil as a franchise, and for a long time, you really couldn't say that that was the case. I mean, Resident Evil 7 was great, but prior to that, man, Resident Evil was a little bit inconsistent, but now they are completely on the money with Resident Evil, even after the lackluster release of Resident Evil 3, which I was a little bit bummed out about because my expectations were so high. I still enjoyed the game, but definitely could have been better, especially with a lot of the cut content. That was really unfortunate, but with Resident Evil 8, it being a brand new game, a brand new slate, I'm excited to see what they can pull out with this one, especially with Chris Redfield playing a prominent role in the game. Excited to see his redesign as well. Also, want to note that Capcom is having a Resident Evil survey right now, and one of the questions is whether or not people would like to see more remakes of Resident Evil games. So there you go. That probably opens the door for people to say yes, and Capcom's probably seeing the sales numbers for these games. No matter what you thought of Resident Evil 3, it looks like that game sold very, very well. I think they're looking at those sales numbers and they're thinking, man, people want these games, let's make these games. People are going to buy them, let's make them. But obviously, if you keep churning them out at the quality level of Resident Evil 3, it is going to lose its appeal little by little, so that's always something to keep in mind. Nonetheless, wanted to go over all of that information with you guys. Lastly, I do want to go over something that's a little bit of a bummer. Because of everything going out, Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for PS4, the physical edition of that has been delayed in the West. Retailer listings update indicate potential June 30th release, but sometimes I do believe that's a placeholder because that would be the end of Q2, and sometimes they'll just put a June 30th release date. Nonetheless, Nighthawk Interactive has delayed the physical retail edition of Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for PlayStation 4 from its previously planned April 28th release date in the West due to complications, due to the ongoing business restrictions and store closures related to everything going on. The physical retail version of Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for PS4 will be delayed. We appreciate your support and hope you and your loved ones stay safe. So there you go with that. A little bit of a bummer, but I can understand, especially because a game like this, I feel like, is the title a lot of people would want to get physically as well. I imagine that the digital release will still be coming, but yeah, this is something to note. Yeah, the digital version of Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for PS4 will still launch worldwide on April 23rd. So if you're excited for the game, if you want a Mega Man-like action platformer, this one is really good. I played the hell out of it on the Nintendo Switch, and it was really good on there. This one also enjoying a couple of upgrades, experience the fast-paced gameplay and seamless 60 frames per second, enjoy all of the downloadable content from the original versions, fighting through extra stages, bosses, and bonus modes, all while rocking out to the new songs, jam along to over 20 pop vocal tracks, including a new track made exclusively for the PlayStation 4 release, and get lost in the story with high-resolution event graphics and in-game text so the characters look better than ever. Journey through the levels and menus on the new intuitive screen layout as well. So the game is seeing some upgrades as well. Again, really dug those games. I believe it's being priced at $40, which might be a little bit pricey. Let's actually, yeah, $40 on Amazon right now, and they are noting a June 30th release, but we'll see how that shakes out. Maybe this is a game that you'll want to wait on a sale for. I think a $20 price point would be really solid, but nonetheless, I did want to give that a mention because I have been covering this game a little bit, and you guys were aware of the April 28th, was it April 23rd release date? April 28th for physical, April 23rd for digital, and I wanted to give you guys the update on that. So that's going to conclude this video. Again, Resident Evil 8 looking pretty cool based on the rumors we're hearing and the leaks, and Chris Redfield having a prominent role in the game is probably going to get a lot of people excited, but let's see how that redesign shakes out. Let us also know, do you guys think Resident Evil, they're milking it a little bit too much? Do you think we're getting too many Resident Evil games? Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, unfortunately delayed in the West. We should be getting that on June 30th, but not necessarily confirmed, and we don't know if that's just a placeholder date on Amazon and things of that sort. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.